Hola mi amigas, it's Mrs. Pickett. I am here today with another flipped video. This time it's also going to be on place value, but this time we're going to take our learning to the next level and we're going to talk about estimation. So we're really going to spend our time today focusing on how we estimate numbers. Or for some of you, you may have heard estimate as round. So go ahead and give me a whoop whoop if you know what rounding is. Okay, so it sounds like some of you've done that before. So let's just go ahead and jump in and get this party started. So when you think of estimation, when we estimate, all we're doing is rounding. Here in front of you, you're gonna see I've got my hill, and this is what I like to call a rounding hill. When you think about a roller coaster and you're cruising on your roller coaster, you get to the top of the hill. I'm going to try and draw a little car here for you guys. You get to the top of the hill and what happens? You're either going to roll forward or you're going to roll backward, right? So, okay, so I went out and I had to find a car since my last car was a little bit of a bad drawing. So you see my car sitting here, and let's just say we're going to focus on the car and where the front wheels are sitting. So let's say the front wheels are sitting right here at the 3. What's going to happen if that car loses gas right now? Is it going to stop, and is it going to stay put? No, it's going to roll backwards. And just the same as if the car was sitting over here. Oops, hold on a second. Okay, so let's now say the car is sitting at the 8. Which way is it going to roll this way? It's going to roll to the 10. So just like with rounding, any number 6 to 10, 6 to 9 really, is going to roll to the nearest 10. So it's always going to go up, and anything from 4 to 0 is going to round down to the lower 10. Okay, so now let's put this into play. So I've got a number, and I've got 47 as that number. What two 10s is 47 in between? Go ahead and tell me. If you said 40 and 50, you're right. 47 is in between 40 and 50. So when you're rounding to the nearest tens place, I always like to underline the number or the place I'm rounding to, which is my tens place, and my 4 sits in my tens place. So go ahead and I'm going to put a box around that number. Now the number that's going to determine whether my car goes down, forward, or down backwards is the 7. So if you find where the car would sit, if it sat at the 7 place, it's going to be on the downhill slope, and so it's going to roll down forward towards the 50. So we would say that 47 rounds to 50. Okay, let's do another example just like we did. So our number is 82. The two 10s is in between. Go ahead and say it with me. It's in between 80 and 90, right? So the number I'm rounding to, the place that I'm rounding to is the 10s place. So I'm going to circle my 10s place and underline my 2 because that's the number that's going to be moving. So point to 2 on our rounding hill here, our roller coaster. The 2 is right here. So if my car was sitting here, it would head backwards. If it stopped right here, it would head backwards. And so 82 would round to what 10? If you said 80, that's correct. So 82 rounds to 80. So let's do one more example. What two 10s is 65 in between? If I'm rounding to my nearest 10, I know that 65 is in between. Go ahead and tell me. If you said 60 and 70, that's totally correct. But I have a problem this time. The problem is my car is sitting at the 5. And the 5 is at the top of the hill. So if it stops, I don't know which way it's going to go. Is it going to go down this way? Is it going to go down to the 0 or to the 6? Or is it going to go this direction towards the 70? What I like to say about the 5 is because the 5 sits at the top, it's almost like it's inching its way forward. So if it was going to stop, it would almost tip over and it would slide down to the bigger number. So what you really need to know from this is that 5 is always going to round up. 5 is always going to round up. Say that with me. 5 is going to round up. So what I want you to do right now is hold out your hand, 5. So go ahead and give me a 5 and then a thumbs up. That helps me remember. I always do that when I think, which way does round? Do I round the 5? And I always give myself a high five and then a thumbs up. So 5 goes up. Say it with me. 5 goes up. Go ahead and do it with your hand. 5 goes up. Okay, say it as loud as you can without waking anybody up at home if somebody's sleeping. 5 goes. Yep, you got it. 5 goes up. So that's just, don't forget, 5 always is going to round up. So now we're going to do it without the picture and without the hill so that you can see how to do it in math class. So here's my number 32. So if I wanted to do this without the hill, without the picture of the hill, I'm going to show you how to draw your own hill, and then I'm going to also show you how to do it without any kind of picture at all. So if I was going to draw my own hill, I would put my 32 first, and then I'm going to just draw a hill, just like that. You can put the numbers on your hill to make it helpful to remember, but if you don't need that step, don't do it if you already kind of understand. So then I want to draw 2 lines down here for my 2 10s. So 32, we know, has 2 places. 2 10s, it's in between. It's in between the 30 and the 40. So then, remember, we underline our 3 and we circle our 2 because we're rounding to the 10s place. 2 sits here, so 2 is going to round down to 30. So 32 rounds, or is estimated, to 30. So I'm going to do one more just like that, but I'm going to move a little bit quicker through. So my number is 84. Create your hill. This time I'm not going to put my numbers on my line because I already remember. I'm going to underline my 8 because I'm rounding to my 10s place. I'm going to circle my 4. I know that 4 rounds down. So 4 is going to estimate to 80 and not 90. So finally, if you've gotten to the point where you don't need your hill anymore, you're feeling pretty good, you know which way your numbers round, you can also just draw your lines. So if my number is 33, the 2 10s it's in between is 30 and 40. I'm going to underline my 3, that's my 10s, circle my other 3, that's the number that's moving, and I know 3 is lower than 5, so it's going to jump to the 30. That's another way you can do it if you don't want to do your hill. So thanks again for hanging out with me today and watching our flipped video. Make sure that you fill out that whisk form, especially the S for summary. And I want that summary to include 3 sentences, so don't forget about that. And your final joke for today is, why did the girl smear peanut butter on the road? Have a fabulous evening, morning, day, whatever time you're watching this. I don't know, but I hope you have a fabulous Intuit, and I will see you soon. Bye.